Man. What a weekend, I must say. Ay, Dios mío. Just get this little film, bada boom. Get a little bow loaded. I'm really not surprised that Zukov immediately went emo boy. Let him in here, and first thing he does is just close out on himself and just stay there. Can't be too surprised though, but goddamn. Get some of this bad boy in there. Tasty. Make sure I'm not too low on the battery when I do this. Cool. Smooth, 70%. That's excelente. Ain't no way that battery's gonna be dead by the time I finish this shit up. Alright. Oops. Yeah. Looks like that's some bong water. That wouldn't not be bueno. Ew. Like nasty. Alrighty. Okay. Burp. Alrighty. There you go. We'll actually camera. Let's back you in there. Back. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. Sweet. There we go. That's much better. Ooh, nice. And that coffee is helping me out immensely. For I truly need that right now. Because between this whole fucking weekend, I am just pooped. I am pooped. What did I say? Alright. But at least, ain't too bad today. Just been kind of wandering the neighborhood, being the little sticker slapper. That's the name of the stream. I'm just you know what? I'm plastering stickers everywhere. Put a few of the 1876 little QR code stickers everywhere because they give those out for free. So I'm just I'm taking 5 or 6 of those. I'm gonna stick them everywhere. And got a couple of the Lost Wild Blood stickers I had, plastering them around too. So I'm just yay. Excelente. Need to find some more spots to put these things at though. Where are those in the back? Flags. And also a strike sign. A UAW strike sign. And storage. Random storage bullshit. So, that's what's back there. Mostly holiday boxes, mostly. Of flags. Other alternate history flags. This one's kind of meant to kind of resemble kind of a American kind of style flag, but it's based off of video game that I played a lot. Still do. I just haven't had time to play any games in like fucking forever. But if you heard of like the real-time strategy game Hearts of Iron 4, then you might know what it is, because like one of the like biggest popular mods is Kaiserreich, and that's where they come from. Oh, that coffee's making me feel so much better. Especially my gut. It is definitely feeling it. But at least in a good way. I know the game, but didn't play. Right on. But yeah, there's like a whole like extensive lore to it. And at least, depending on like, how you play the United States, because in that game, like at least in the mod, it's an alternate history, so it basically implies that the U.S. eventually goes into a civil war. I think it's like, a part of like the mechanic like that happens. You can, if you play the U.S., can avoid it potentially, but it's really fucking hard. So essentially, it happens no matter what. But the idea is that like depending on the outcome, as one of the results, you can be like the syndicalists, which is like the equivalent of like, the communist faction in the game. But they basically, can, take power and actually like win the war. And depending on how you play them as like, as like the syndicalists in America, you can have that as like one of the flag options. I mean, you can't choose or, like which flag is which. I mean, just depending on how you like, do your path, like for the game, like, it just automatically will switch to it. Well, that's pretty fun. I just especially like him just because it gets me to kind of talk about syndicalism a little bit. Because I like to talk politics in here, sometimes and shit. So, every now and then if people ask, like, you a commie or something, I'm like, no, I'm a syndicalist. And people are just like, what the fuck is that? I'm just like, just think of it like a labor, like, union leftist, but just radical as fuck. Just that, basically. At least the TLDR, like, syndicalism for dummies 101 kind of thing. That's why I also have the UAW strike sign back there too, because of, I'm not a UAW member, but I've partook in some of their strikes before. And I'm also a union myself too. I'm just like right now out of work, but I'm one of the things, especially coming January, since this is literally like the worst time of the year trying to find a job right now. Like, I'm just gonna like, hit January 1st, 2nd, be like calling up a bunch of fucking places, including the union office too, to be like, hey, man, a job, still want to be part of the union. What do you got? It's like what you got, going down. What you got for me? Because shit, I'll kind of at the point where I'll literally just kind of take about damn near anything as long as this is really easily accessible for where I live. That's all I care about. As long as I could get there within like a 15, 20, like minute period of me, like, going there to work and shit, I'll be fine. Enjoy your albeit forced time off. That's kind of what I'm doing, man. I mean, like I'm still, kind of doing business, between all that, just trying to like, handle like, at least get my foot in the door on a lot of these, places that I want to get a job at. Because they're, all of them are like literally within like a 5 to 10 minute bike ride, if that, for me. So it's just like, honestly, I'll be a happy camper if I get a job at any of those places. Plus, slowly but surely, I could probably get into the bar scene, and frankly, I might be more fitted for that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of feel like I, fit more into that because I'm like, I already know like a fuckload of people, from like all the bars that I go to, and a lot of them also interchange at the 3 main places that I go to too. So it's just like, fuck it, might as well get a job at 1 or 2 of these, places, and bada bing, bada boom. A foreign language, secondary. When you're talking too much. Well, I'm just mostly mentioning about like my job opportunity aspect things, like going into like the bar scene and shit. Because there's 3 bars or like taverns that are like right next to me, with all different distances of commute, but at least are places I can go to and honestly probably make decent money. At least the equivalent of what I was making, if you count tips and shit too. I know last stream or maybe the one before that we were talking about case mentorship, but I don't think I have ever asked you what made you decide to be an atheist. Being born and raised Christian. You're talking too fast. Well, that's why I kind of chilled, because I'm a fast talker, but I'll try to accommodate. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna be like a dick and be like, well, today, like I'm, I'll at least try to be like, all right, try to space it. To be fair, I am drinking coffee, so like the coffee's hitting me too. So that caffeine is starting to go. They start like adding like nitro or something in this, because I feel like there's like a little extra or something. Trying to listen and translate meanwhile. No worries. As long as at least the general gist, is taken from it, that's all that really matters. But yeah, but at least to Rose's question, at least what, for me being an atheist, it's literally just, frankly, just being born and raised Christian. Having to go to fucking church, do all that bullshit, and honestly, always really genuinely thinking that a lot, especially during church camp, a lot of the weird things, like in ceremonies and all that shit, was just fucking weird. And I was like, even at that time, I was like, I'm fine being Christian, but I don't know about all this. I was like, that's just how I felt about it. And I was like, I don't know. But then, middle school hit, like when I, about like also, turned like, 11, 10, around that age. And that's when I kind of really started thinking, especially being kind of a little outcast kid in middle school, being like, if there was a Gord, why, or like a God, then why is this, like a thing that's just allowed to happen kind of thing, and then I started questioning that, and I was like, fuck that. But I didn't become an atheist right off the bat. I mean, I kind of like dibble-dabbled into other, beliefs like Asatru or like Nordic paganism kind of shit, Wiccan stuff a little bit. I kind of like teeter-tottered, a little bit with that. But then I'd say like once I was like 16, 17, I just kind of went over that phase, and I was like, that stuff's cool, but frankly, it's just even more fanciful than like Christian shit sometimes. But at least I think has more of a point to it, more so than like Bible. Like the Bible. Hold on, I want to make sure that door's closed. So, yeah, what you doing? What's up, buddy? Okay, door's closed. I want to make sure, because this dog is a sneak. Really loves being a sneaker. There. That's a simple answer, but for a long one, like, are the emotional reasons which aren't about, but just one because things can't function with or without? Well, yeah, that too. I mean, also, like, ultimately, like, does it really ultimately change the outcome of, like, the universe or, like, your general outcome in life, because, of their existence or lack thereof? No, not really. Unless, like, we, go explore the fourth dimensional, like, quantum world and shit like that and get breakthroughs there, and we find out there is, like, some extra crazy shit, that does kind of have like an impact in some way, but to us, it's just is, so who knows? I mean, ultimately, I don't really think it matters unless there's like some crazy fucking like breakthrough where we learn a lot of shit that does impact, like our realm, the three-dimensional, to the, one-dimensional worlds versus the fourth-dimensional one. So, I mean, maybe, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that like our reality is what it is. I mean, it's kind of the same, thing with like simulation theory and stuff like that. Like, I mean, ultimately it's just kind of the, same idea. It's like, does it, ultimately change the outcome of the universe and shit? Does it change the outcome about how like your life lives? Not really. I think thinking less about religious things is better than thinking too much. Yeah. I mean, I think there's like a two-way street with that. I mean, to the point where society or like, humanity can think less about religion and kind of attach itself to that, as much, I think would definitely be better. But at the same time, people thinking about it a lot and being critical and kind of like breaking it down and poking holes in what ultimately is just like mythos and shit. I think, that's important to get to that point too. So it's kind of a two-way street. But ultimately, like, having humanity think less about religion, or at least, especially have an attachment to it, I think will be better overall. Not that I think, inherently having like a spiritual or religious belief is a bad thing. I don't give a fuck. I mean, even though I'm an atheist, I have like, spiritual like beliefs still. It's just more of like, the emotional connection of just like, of just kind of like that's arbitrary in a way. But that's partly kind of the point. Because like, I have like a little connection when it comes to the ocean, especially the Pacific Ocean. I have a connection, to Oregon or, broadly Cascadia, in a way. So, I mean, I got like, the spiritual kind of beliefs and shit. And honestly, like, there are different religious belief systems that are way more spiritual based, more so than like, believe in a God kind of thing, and like, indigenous, like North American style, beliefs, or, Taoism or something. Like, I honestly have a lot more of a connection to those kind of religions or religious beliefs more so than not, just because there's more of like a connection to like, the earth itself and your place in it and like your place in the universe and shit like that, especially with Taoism. So, I mean, ultimately, it's like, I do, despite being an atheist, but, because I think it could be both, and I don't think it's a contradiction, because atheism literally just means a lack of a belief in a God. And you don't believe in it, like that's so really what it means. So, like, and like you still believe in those ideas without believing God has anything to do with it, because it doesn't. I don't think about him just being mean. Well, exactly, yeah. And ultimately, I think that's, what, whatever, belief system people have, it's like, I think that's ultimately what, should, be about. It's just like, actualizing yourself and just being you. I mean, that's also why I'm so critical of like organized religion, especially, because it's really more of a meant to like be complacent and basically like kind of add the sense of collectivization of a hive, like almost like you have to be like this very particular way, like, or else you're a sinner or you're a degenerate or you're an abomination to God or you're a blasphemer, or, what name, the list goes on. It's this and that. Like, I mean, there's an inherent like sense of like control and order about how one can be, instead of actualizing yourself and just being yourself. Guess just making up though for my bad times. Well, if anything, those are just like, different experiences that you learn from. Just shit, I'm definitely no fucking saint or whatever. You just learn from mistakes, for figure out where, you know, what went wrong or, you know, how you fucked up and just do better. That's all I can do. Obviously, easier said than done, though. Being face silence. Just Harley. Oh my god. Of course. I was one of the most petty racists too, especially Christian propaganda movies. I was carrying 8 drinks and prayed that the person in front of me would hold the door open. They didn't. And my cola and root beer spilled all over my new clothes, and that's when I knew God was dead. I do believe there's more to the world than we can detect to what we have. Well, of course, yeah. God is dead. Dude, it really is, though. It's like, you know, like in that movie God's Not Dead or whatever, like the literal atheist professor like had some bad shit happen once, and he was like, I knew that's when God died, and I hated him. And it's like, and which implies that the guy's not an atheist. If anything, he'd be more like a Satanist because he's saying he hates God and spites him, thus implying that he thinks he's a thing. It's like, so wouldn't he technically be a Satanist, being like, you know, I blasphemed against God, I'm now with like Lucifer and shit? Wouldn't that make more sense? It's such a fucking stupid movie. But frankly, it's generally like, I remember like TJ and Paul mentioning how it's probably one of the most like offensive movies, you know, especially as an atheist, and frankly, I agree. Because god damn, bro. Oh, what's even worse is that they did like an Islamic conversion thing. They tried to have like, you know, one of the girls like straight up like who was a Muslim. They had like you know, like a fucking stand-in stereotypical like, you know, like lady Muslim character in the school or some shit. And straight up, like basically it had the implication that her arc is that she deconverts from Islam to Christianity and then also gets beaten and punished by her dad for it because the dad finds out. It's fucked up. It's like, bruh. I even know like, you know, people that come from like, you know, Muslim families and shit, you know, or at least that are born and raised Muslim here, and they don't care, you know, if they do or don't believe. In fact, a lot of them usually don't. At least the ones I've known. I also know some that have fled, you know, their families and shit and have to be very careful about their lives and shit. You know, I know a few people like that too. So, I mean, it cuts both ways, but that literally just depends on like, you know, the background of like the family and like, you know, the specific, you know, sect of the religion that they believe in. Because just like Christianity, Islam's got some pretty laissez-faire, you know, liberalized, you know, versions of the religion, and also has very staunch, strict, like, you know, the equivalent like a Westboro Baptist, like, you know, radical element of it, to the point where it's literally militant and violent. So, I mean, shocker, usually because Abrahamic religions tend to be very fucking violent. And they come from a very violent place. It would be cool if he was like, I prayed for Lucifer for my mom to get better and she did, so yeah, Satan. That would have been funnier, actually. I think a ghost just switched my testicle. What the fuck? I got a weird feeling in my right one. Whoa, dude. You get felt up by a ghost? Have you ever met anyone named Abraham? You know, there was like a kid in high school I remember. Never knew him, never talked to the guy. But there was a kid named Abraham once in school. I just knew he was there because he was in my class sometimes, but honestly, beyond that, I can't think of anyone. There's probably an off chance, like, you know, when I was working, like, you know, when someone put their, like, club card number in at, like, Safeway, whatever the fuck, you know, like, you know, a name Abraham would have come up, but I mean, usually, like, I see him more as, like, either a middle name or, like, even, like, I think once I saw it as a last name. Once. I mean, you know, it's kind of rare for, like, you know, to have, like, kind of an old-timey name like that. Like, one that is actually kind of a surprise when you meet someone who is, like, is a Richard. That one's like, whoa. It's like, oh shit, like, who's this guy from the 50s? What's another like old-timey name? Like, I would say Elizabeth, but I've known too many people who are like nicknamed like Lizzie or Elizabeth and shit like that. And why in the fuck is Brian calling me right now? He could literally just pop in on stream. He gets notifications. He doesn't need to do this. I'm just gonna let it ring because I have a strong feeling he will just immediately pop in on here. So I'm just gonna like give it a minute. God damn it, you Brian, you fuck. Come on, Home Slice. Get the hint. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now give it a minute. Probably gonna pop on here. We'll see. But yeah, like I say, like I would say like Elizabeth's kind of like an old-timey name, but honestly, I've known too many Elizabeths, you know, like around here for me to say that. Like I've heard people say that's like an old-timey name, but I'm like, I know people even my age and even who are younger that are, you know, named Elizabeth, and usually a nickname like Lizzie or something. You know, they'll usually have a nickname. They won't go by like the full Elizabeth name, but like legally it would be that. So it's like, I can't really say that, you know, that's the case. You know, I've only met like 2 Abigails ever. That's an old-timey name, actually. Like, you not really often you ever meet an Abigail, but it's like, oh, shit, that's an oldie name. I feel like I'm about to like, you know, go down to Speakeasy, you know, find one of the flappers, and her name's like, you know, Abigail or something. Abigail Swan or some shit. She is like, you know, dressed up as like, you know, one of like, you know, flappers, but kind of like, you know, in a way that makes it look like a swan or something. Getting like $5 drinks, you know, that are like ridiculously overpriced, but you know, it's bootlegging because that's all you could do because it's prohibition era. Cabrera's not popped in here yet. God damn that fucking hoe. That hoe. Here, I'm gonna see if I have a way to message him. I don't. Well, maybe I could do it. Hopefully, this does not cause the stream to pop off. But let's see. Well, of course it will. Oh well. God damn it. Wait. Okay, there we go. But oh well. God damn it. Still annoying. Numi's be a bodybuilder chick who's named Abigail, but she calls herself Absigail. Absigail. That would be kind of dope, actually. Legit. Absigail. All right, girls. Absigail again. Just like fucking flexes, and you just see these epic abs. Just. It's like, damn, son. Price literally hit me up to come to Portland. I don't want to go down to Portland. Boo. Why in the fuck does he want me to go down there? This better give me a damn good reason. Hey, buddy, yeah, why do you want me to go to Portland? I'm kind of recouping, just chilling. Just sitting here. Having a coffee because I need to wake up. Wander around my neighborhood and slap stickers everywhere. Because I'm a little delinquent. To get high and drink. Well, I'm literally doing that right now. Well, not the drinking part, but I do have those. I'm just not touching them yet. I was kind of wanting to see if you would be coming back or something because I had a crack with you. But I see how it is. Hope. Last night it did snow. How did Logan think about that? Because I know he's not usually the biggest fan of, that. I mean, I'm assuming it wasn't at his pad, so obviously, yeah. Not sure, didn't tell him. Fair. Well, you did mention it in the group chat, so he's gonna know now. But, dude, last night when I streamed for a little bit, like some dude in here like came in, thought like when I was taking a bowl, they like just trying to like talk some shit, and I was just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, you're not even talking the right shit. And at one point, it's like cocaine head. And I literally looked at him like, bitch, do I look like I'm on it? And I just like looked and I was like, I have drink, I have weed. Like, and I just started talking some mad shit at this guy because I was like, you hoe. Like, if you're going to be like, you do this dub dug and like talk shit about like what drug I do, at least get it fucking right. It's like, goddamn. And I even mentioned, it's like, I will say, I only did it twice ever. And frankly, it's meh. So, it's like, you ain't gonna catch me doing it third time unless I'm like literally in Colombia or some shit, like in Bogota. It's like, I mean, fuck, bro. It's like, give me a break. I love it when people come in here and try to talk some shit sometimes because I love it. It's fun. I've been on the internet for too long, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I've been in the front lines. I've been in the trenches doing shit like that. So, I mean, like, and honestly, I'm like ashamed at like the lack of skill and art, that goes into talking shit / like fucking trolling, dude. When Paul was doing the stream, I was listening to that earlier. Dude, there was people trying to get him with some ligmas, with like, Tiggaloo cats, like all those fucking memes talking, trying some mad shit. And it's just like, and I'm just sitting here just like, this dumb fuck. I'm just sitting here like, these dumb motherfuckers. And even Paul's like, what the fuck? I'm fucking ashamed of all of you. Like, and literally just started to like, just fucking lecturing everybody about how the troll is shit. It was hilarious. Because goddamn, dude, like the art of trolling and, shit talking is fucking like, it's no mas, no bueno. How the hell does it get coke? When I looked up the word stoner, the picture of you popped up. Basically. Wait, really? That would be funny if that actually was the case. I'm just like literally like the generic stereotypical stoner rock. I am, so. I had to come again. You also did poppers. How do those feel? Because at least I know in the queer community that's a big thing because they help kind of loosen up your muscles a little bit, so it's easier for, Bethek. So, how are those? Like, those actually do anything? Yeah, it was kind of weird. Huh. Well, interesting. I think that'd be one I'd try once, but I feel like I'd rather just do that as like at least like a lot of queer people usually do it, for like long-term booty blast sessions or some shit. I feel like that'd probably be like what it'd be for. So if I were to, that's probably like the one time I do it, I guess. But even then, I'm not even too sure. I probably would want to just do it on my own or at least just separately from that just to really actually feel what it is. But I don't know. I don't really know if that's like something I actually am interested in. Jalapeno poppers are fucking awesome, dude. Easily the best thing to get at Arby's, especially with that Bronco berry sauce. Or I like how you just take it to food. It was weird, but also Crystal's behind me too. Nice. Hey, send it. Even Zhukov is just like, poof, poof. Good job, Brian. Poof, poof. It was awesome. Nice. Second best food is curly fries, and first is chamocha shake. The chamocha shake. I'm feeling the fucking hair. Goddamn. Quit tickling my shit. Had a blast. Hell yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm kind of glad I did actually, come back to my pad, for everything, because frankly, this damn dog, of course, makes a mess. I don't even blame the dog on that one, but I just like, God damn it, I knew it. So of course I had to deal with that shit. And then kind of get settled in, let him outside because he still needed to go out. Did you see the bop it meme I sent earlier? I think so. Damn dog. Still high. Nice. See you later. All right, man. Pop back on, whenever, if I'm still streaming, if you, or just hit me up at some point, when you're coming back. We'll chill and hang out and have to hear more about what happened last night. I like how I opened this and I didn't even bother drinking anything yet. Tight. It's good old tight. Zukov's such a dumb little butt. Ridiculous. Oof. That was a little harsh. Whoa. Whoa. Boo. Well, I kind of need to hit Logan up at some point. Maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow. About maybe like seeing if we go on a little adventure for Renault. Because I know he knows, like, where to find some, like, hella cheap ass, like, O's for, and I'm just like, well, that would definitely be, definitely be something I'd be really kind of need to stock up for the next month. When did President Sig get sworn in? The 10th, right? It's the 20th. January 20th is when our president, El Presidente, El Duce, gets sworn in. There's I don't know what, like, because I know Jan 6 outside of obviously what we all know of it for, but like I know like some sort of ceremonial fucking bullshit that happens that day, but the official inauguration and everything's on 20th. Which, speaking of, there's been like, what the fuck has been going on with like this weird like fucking Civil War thing that the MAGA's been having? Because like apparently Trump picked a side on that whole thing, and it's like like on Elon Musk's side, but also he's like turning on like pretty much like fucking everyone too at the same time. It's the fuck is going on over there? I mean, it's like it's not even the end of the year, and it's already like a shit show with them. I didn't expect it to be this much of a shit show. I knew it would be, but it's like, is Musk literally going to be kicked out before it even gets sworn in? It's like, damn, bro. It's like, how's that, like, possible? I mean, it's not really that surprising. It's just kind of funny how it's happening so quickly. Because honestly, like, I mean, it's not like, this happened, like, ever. Like, dude, like, there's like a 90% turnover rate in Trump's cabinet their first term. Like, it used to be like big news when someone got fired and shit, but like Trump was just doing it like practically every fucking week or some shit. It's like your team winning and your coach still chews you up. Yeah, and it's like the fuck. It's like you would think that, at the very least, like they would at least try to keep some of their shit together and just celebrate, and then kind of have this shit shut. Like you would think they would at least maybe play the cards a little bit more closer, but it's just because Elon can't help himself. Just like Trump, he can't help himself but be like the center of attention, and that is literally driven everyone fucking nuts to the point it's caused a lot of this chaos. Which I'm okay with, but I just find it hilarious that, it's been happening like so much in the past month. Is it choose you up or choose you out? The latter sounds more questionable. Well, no, it's chew you out. Like you get chewed out, but choose you up. It's it's same thing. It's kind of same, similarity of a different distinction. Elon might as well call himself Rudy 2.0. Yeah, but with actual fuck you money. And honestly, like, I'm wondering if this actually will be like a genuine downfall for him. You know what I mean? Like, not just in the sense of just like, oh, like he just kind of like it just continues the same routine, but actually like kind of falls off outside of the weird little loyal lapdogs that are on Twitter. So I mean, I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see what will happen with him. I'm still holding out for the ultimate fuck you from Trump and he deports him. That's what I kind of want. I want to see that, dude. That would actually be kind of hilarious. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. Like, the shit show happens so hard. Trump's like, all right, fuck you. You're out of this country. You're out of my nation. You're out of my beautiful land. Get the fuck out of here. You're going back to South Africa where you belong. Oh my god. Because unironically, I would like literally be like, all right, kick him out, folks, kick him out. I think it's not going to be too much different in terms of Trump's PR, just having a preamble to cover his fuck ups. Lord of Scramble, yeah, it's going to be a scramble on that shit for sure. Just because, like, it always is. It's always kind of has been like that for a while now. But now, frankly, even more so at this rate. Because now it's not just like, oh, he's just a celebrity star or fucking weirdo and shit. Now he's like, he has a term under his belt. He's a convicted felon and, has like a fucking shitload of court case and everything else, which basically is just all going to be dropped anyway. So there's really no point to any of that anymore. So, I mean, a lot of it is just now like a lot of extra shit. And now people obviously know about him now at this point. And I think it's going to be pretty, quickly, obvious that, this, even to like some of the MAGA crowd, that they're going to be, like fucking switching on him really quickly. I mean, there's already been like a few people that are like, we're like pro MAGA people and shit that are already like, what he's kind of fucking up already. I don't like him. It's like already. It's like he's not even president yet. It's like, but I mean, some of them are already saying like, he's just like, they're not liking him now, and they all now are kind of starting to immediately regret. It's like literal immediate regrets. Are they dumb for falling for it? Yeah, but hopefully they learn a fucking lesson. So that's pretty much like kind of where I'm at. Hopefully they learn a damn lesson and quit being fucking dumb. If only there was a third option to vote for. I know, right? If only we had like, like broad open primaries, and also on top of that, like also like nonpartisan, like fucking primaries too. Actually, specifically, making multi-ranked choice voted, and fucking hey. Top 3 get to go fucking, up ahead. It's like, Yeah, that's how I see it, at least for the primary system. I mean, and make it like a federal thing too. All right, fuck, I'm gonna crack one. Stupid YouTube. Oh, did it decide to poop on, and be like, nope, you're not getting this through. Dude, I fucking hate YouTube sometimes with this shit like that, because it happens for me too, where I'll literally post something that's innocuous, and it's like, yeah. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, excuse me? It's like, can we not? Can I just fucking have, like, like, one fucking comment? I swear, there's like a weird, like, there has to be like some weird, like, pseudo shadow ban, like, comment policy thing where, like, if you're like too critical or too mean or whatever the fuck, on like, on YouTube comment sections, it'll just like automatically just remove them regardless, and then after a while, it just doesn't really do that as much. I've like noticed that, like, there will be times where I'm legit just trying to like, have to rephrase every fucking little thing on a, comment just because like of some weird, probably like shadow bullshit. I mean, oh, see, I guess now I decided to let you through. It would be huge flex on Trump's part if he deported Elon and then did an embargo on South Africa. Honestly, I would say that's based. I mean, that would be the one time I'd be like, not usually in favor of these policies, but you know what? Fucking based. I'm looking the other way on that one. Fuck that. I'd be like, hell no, that's like, all right, Oh my God, what if you nationalized Twitter too? I mean, it's Trump, I get it, but dude, if he nationalized Twitter to seize it from Elon, oh my God. That would be fucking wild, bro. That would be a timeline right there. And hey, I actually be in favor of it. Like, honestly, I don't even think I'd be really against that. It'd just be Trump the one to do it. But hey, give it enough time, somebody else will be in charge. And so, I mean, Twitter's already a shit show, so I might as well just say fuck it, Well, so what could go wrong in nationalizing the platform? Because now we have a social media platform that literally is an official public sphere. So now First Amendment laws actually apply way more immensely and can actually be enforced. That should probably want to be a bad thing. Might set a precedent. Or something that could happen to Democrats instead of being a Republican president that does better than theirs. And frankly, honestly, let's just say hypothetically this timeline, this arc we're talking about actually does happen. I would say that, weirdly enough, this would be a better Trump term than the first. But that's to be seen. Because I swear to fuck, if that is an actual arc in the timeline and that happens, I'm going to legit say, like, hey, still a piece of shit, fuck him for literally everything else, but here's something that he actually did was kind of based. Because he didn't do shit like that in his first term. He almost did pulling out in Afghanistan, but he did that like last second, and the whole process of pulling out was going to happen, the next term. But I think the idea was that he was going to win the second term. But, instead of just doing it at like the beginning of the year and then it wraps up at the end of the year or some shit, he decided to do it at like September or something, like near the end of the election cycle. It's like you fucking idiot. Because that actually would have been something good on his belt, but Biden basically just didn't do anything to like adjust plans or, like change up things a little bit to make it more streamlined and make it more of a, like less, deadly consequence. Because it was literally just like a fucking out of nowhere, just like last second. Well, yeah, this. Oh, yeah, that. Let's do it. Okay. He just didn't even do anything until like the last like 48 hours, and then everyone, like a lot of the Afghans, especially like a lot of the people that were like helping out the United States and shit, like they were all wondering like, where the fuck is everyone going? They're even leaving shit behind. Like, where's everyone going? And they're all like scrambling. They'll be like, oh fuck, they're leaving. Oh shit. And that's why shit happened the way it did. I mean, see what you're talking about Trump. Maybe he might have done the same, but the thing is, like, maybe not. It was his plan initially anyway. I mean, people like to fuck on Biden for it, and frankly, yeah, he's got a lot to, when it comes to baggage on that. But at the end of the day, it was Trump's plan that started that. He was the one who, was initially wanting to pull out, and all of a sudden, people want to forget that. It's like, give me a break. Like they have to do better economic, even slightly, and it will be a while until the Democrats win again. Yeah. That's kind of what happened with Reagan, dude. Like after Reagan, there was basically like a time where Democrats couldn't win until the triangulation effect of Clinton. Like even on like, state, levels and shit like that. Like, I mean, there was a time like after, like during and post Reagan where it was just very fucking difficult and damn near like, hard unless you're like more of an economic populist style Democrat, which there were still some left at that time. But eventually, like, once the triangulation effect of Clinton, came into effect, that's when everything really just kind of like set itself in stone. And now, at this rate, it's like we're pretty much at that process again. But now with like a Reagan-esque kind of like Grover Cleveland Bush weird amalgamation of what the fuck. But I mean, it's kind of the same thing. And funny enough, it's the triangulation effect from Clinton, just a different one this time. It's like the Clintonite, philosophy of the Democrats and shit, because ultimately this is what, like, the Democrats have become Clintonites, like, a Clintonite neoliberal philosophy, and it's at the point where it is basically now just fractured the party. And it needs that. And they need to be kicked the fuck out. They could call themselves like, the Clinton party or some shit and then go fuck off over there. Like, I mean, retaking, the economic populism, and elements of FDR, into effect in the modernized era is legit just the way to fucking go. People like Tim Walz, Mark Gamba, Bernie Sanders, and even with their faults, even others, shit like AOC, Elon Musk, etc. Like, granted, all got their fucking faults. All of them, I think play ball too much, with, the Clintonites, and, the Clintonite Democrats, but at the end of the day, it's like, that's what their fucking end goal and ultimate, like, thing is that they want to achieve. And like I said, I think they just play ball too much and they need to fucking, like, actually make up a serious goddamn plan to either bust the party up, and fuck this big tent bullshit, or, just start their own. And if enough of them get on board, when you start a party that already has at least like, maybe a couple senators and like a nice, good handful of like 10 or 12 different, Congress people, and, others switch, down party lines, from the state and local levels as well, you got to establish third party just from the jump, like just by proxy. So it's like, I mean, that's really the way to try to get a third party going. You have to get, honestly, some people at the top to be convinced of this. And and people have been trying to pressure Bernie to do that. And I think, honestly, he would have had a lot of fucking success if he did. It's not like you can't caucus with the Dems either way. Let's say, hey, you don't necessarily get, a nomination or, a successful candidate up, for an election, in certain places. Then, do like a collaboration, like a coalition effort, to make sure that the Republican don't win and shit, and just better like next time stuff. At least that type of lesser two evil shit will make more sense. It's like, but at the end of the day, it's like, there needs to be that third option to put pressure there. And that doesn't mean you have to just like say fuck all of them, but it means that you can at least, put that pressure there to where it's like, hey, we could do a coalition, actually help each other. But you have to do what we say here a little bit. We got more power and influence in this, county or in this district more than you do. So, if you want to fucking play ball and not let the Republican win, then play ball with us. If not, then, hey, Republican's going to win and we're sitting it out. So have fun with that, kind of shit. And also, ultimately, wasn't like the whole idea of like Justice Democrats meant to be kind of like that? I mean, I kind of feel like, at least for me, I kind of felt a little robbed of that, honestly, because the whole idea for me, at least, when that first started, which basically has fallen off now, but at least back when that first started, I was honestly thinking like, shit, well, like if enough Justice Dems, get in there, which there was a point where there was kind of a peak, then, oh, well, make them all just, like immediately morph into like their own third party. Just call it the Justice Democrat Party or something. And because it's already in the name, so just use that, I mean, it's like, because that's just like, I mean, I don't, ultimately, I don't even give a fuck about the name. Call it like Revive the Farmer Labor Party for all I give a fuck. I mean, it's like there's already like some pretty like good names from parties that once existed that, could be, remodernized and shit. But either way, I don't care. Like, just having that option and, getting a correlation or a coalition of different, congressfolk and, even a couple senators and maybe like, a bunch of people in the state houses and shit like that, would make a significant impact. And also will genuinely show to the establishment, like, we're sick of the two-party system. We're going to force a third option now because we're done with it. Plus, I'll just get the ball rolling in different states to, bolster up, other third parties too. Because also this third party idea could, especially if, it was done the way we're talking about, could easily be, do coalitions with, other leftist parties or even the Green Party and help boost them. Because, I mean, the Green Party needs to actually, like, be fucking mature and actually, like, a fucking party. Because a lot of different regional, parties, like the Pacific Green Party here in Oregon, actually do shit. But too many of the bigger chapters or, like, of the Green Party, they're just kind of there to cash in on the campaigns, during election cycles, and that's it, which is fucking stupid and lame. I mean, and I get it, you gotta try to fundraise and try to like get what you can, to help bolster the cause and shit. But it's like, I mean, it's not that hard to genuinely like put that name out there and shit. Like, there's already a bunch of like movements for action on climate change shit. Take advantage of that, but they don't. The Pacific Greens out here do, and in fact, a lot of them work with, like Sunrise Movement locally around here, and different, local progressive chapters out here and shit, and climate action chapters and stuff. So, I mean, at least around here they do. I can't really say much about anywhere else. Because there is at least, I think, a couple seats in like nonpartisan positions in like different counties in Oregon that I know for sure have at least like a few like Green Party members and shit. So there's at least a couple. In my county, I think there's only like one, but beyond that, there's at least, a few. Because at least they do shit. And I think that's why they at least get a little traction here and there, but obviously nowhere near enough to like make a dent. And most of it's just because it's a closed primary state. If it was an open primary, I think they'd have a lot more, traction. And that just needs to, like, it's like the state of Oregon needs to seriously open the fucking primaries up. Like, I fucking hate closed primaries. The whole idea of a fucking democracy and you like limit people's like, options, when it comes to a Democratic vote in a primary. Wow. So democratic. So fucking dumb. Change one thing in history would be, which is this, don't you want most of these people as your followers? Trust me. You don't want them, yeah. For me, honestly, if I were to change history, if one thing, I'll just give news articles, from like 2023 to 2024 about how much like the business class has raped, America, and just give it to people like Eugene Debs, Elizabeth Guthrie Flynn, Joe Hill. I just go like in like the 20s or some shit. Well, I guess some of these motherfuckers would be dead, but like, so I'll have to like, shit. Now, man, I have to really pick, honestly. Should I do it like, because fuck, depending on the timeline, some of these people are either going to be dead or in prison or like lynched or some shit. Because it's fuck. I'd probably pick at least, you know what, 1910. because I know Mother Jones, Elizabeth Guthrie Flynn, Bill Hayward, Joe Hill, and Frank. And then what was his name? It was Frank something. There's like another guy. He was a labor advocate for the copper mines and shit in Montana, but then he got lynched by a fucking bunch of like, you know, corporate, you know, goons and the sheriffs at the time and shit. I think his name was actually Frank Hill, but not related to Joe Hill. I think that's what his name was. And Lucy Parsons will still be alive. Not as active, but she'd still be around. So, all right. And I know there's Eugene Debs. FDR will be alive. I'll just have to find out where he is. I'll just have to like hunt him down and be like, hey, pamphlet of, you know, what happened in 2023 when it comes to the workers and the economy. Take this, read through it. You know what to do. You know, so I would just literally be going around finding these people. I'll be traveling America, you know, just literally trying to find these people and legit just hand them a pamphlet of all these articles and all these fucking like personal hand accounts for workers, you know, and like how, and like data about how much like the business class is taken, you know, from the people and shit, you know, and how we're in the neo Gilded Age and shit like that. I'd just be literally handling, you know, just literally being like a pamphlet guy. And plus I have so close, I can make me blend in with them and I'll be like, hey, because they'll notice I'm looking a little like, you look like you're from our time, but you got some nice modern dress there, Sonny. What brings you here? And I'll be like, something from the future. Trust me. And I just walk away. I'm like, you know, I'm like the mysterious stranger of fall. I'm just like, here you go. Trust me. Walk away. That's what I do. Because, I mean, the timeline would split, and then, like, you know, America would literally be like, you know, a fucking, like, workers' commonwealth or some shit, and, like, you know, the Battle of Blair Mountain actually becomes, like, a workers' revolution instead. I mean, it kind of was on its own right. I mean, but not in the way I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, everybody's all like, fuck this! But, you know, like, you know, the Southern and the corpos would be like, this is just insane witchcraft nonsensory. They're claiming that some people from the future? Pah! Shit, I might have to stick around in that timeline just to prove it. Be like, here's my smartphone. It's been used and manufactured and processed and mined by literal fucking slaves. You want to fucking say something now, bitches? Doggo, that's a neighbor bumping hella baits, okay? You could chill. Oh my god. Fucking dog. FDR passes second Bill of Rights now. Also adds environmental protection, and the Japanese Americans are not at fault. Stamp cut to Hitler support group, so save a lot of trouble down the road. Oh, dude, yeah. I would also mention that to FDR and be like, yo, there's about to be a war. You're not going to realize what's about to happen. And, you know, just to say, you know, don't fall for the, you know, the racism, you know, that people will have against Japanese Americans. You'll know why in the future. I mean, because you can't necessarily split it too hard, at least when it comes to other events. I don't really, you know, like, hey, you know, no fault for the rest of the world, but hey, I'm trying to influence America here. Like, at least on this one. Because, you know what they say, you know, as goes America, so goes the world, right? So, ultimately, it's just like, you know, hey, whatever the world does, you know, like, eventually, you know, as goes the rest of the world with America eventually. I mean, I think that's like, you know, at least in the you know, like, in America's history, you know, even in that circumstance would be the case. And frankly, it would probably even be a more immense, powerful superpower to where, you know, because think about it. Like, the Soviet Union would still be a thing, right? That means, like, dude, there'd probably be, like, a collaboration, like, you know, like, effort, you know, of, like, you know, bolstering each other and actually having, like, a globalized, dude. I think my idea about handing out these pamphlets of like, what would happen, I think this would actually make things immensely better. I think we would have like literally a globalized society. And instead of like random like CIA backed fucking civil wars in Africa, it would literally just be collaboration, modernization efforts to help out, these nations, and shit. They're like, they can't tell me this is like, sounding more better and better. All right, scientists, get on the quantum fourth dimensional realms, find a way to time travel in that bitch, and let's send it, dude. Let's find out if there's multiverses or not, because this will prove it. Which also, speaking of, like, there's just straight up like some badass like East German songs specifically. I don't know why, but when it comes to music, at least when it comes to like the Soviet era, like Eastern Wars, like Warsaw Pact, like music and shit, them fucking Germans go hard. Like, there's this one song literally about like the I think it's called the Free German Youth in English, but it's like the FGJ. But it's literally, that's just literally the name of the song. But for some reason, it legit just goes hard. It's like a weird like pop fusion punk. It's like, I'm not even kidding. It literally sounds like that. It's just like, I'm just like, why is this a banger? Like, I'm literally sitting here thinking, like, what in the fuck? Why is this a banger? Because, like, I mean, it's strangely, awesomely upbeat as fuck, and like legit kind of punky. It's like, huh? I was like, okay, all right. Because it literally is just like, I mean, the rhythm goes like, it's like, why is that such a fucking banger? It's like straight up. I mean, I don't know why, but it just goes hard. And plus, like some of like the East German like military choir and shit, like the army choir, like or the orchestra or whatever. Dude, some of their versions or like the originals of some of their songs, like one, it's a pretty short one, but it's called Unsere Panzer Division, and it's literally it's too epic. I don't know why, but it's just too much of a fucking banger. And also, unironically, best national anthem out of like any country. I'm not even gonna fucking lie. When Germany reunified, they literally should have adopted the East German national anthem, because it's not even like a communist anthem or anything. It actually kind of predates East Germany a little bit, like because like before Germany was split up, there was kind of like talk about changing the anthem of Germany anyway at that point, and there was a composer where he wrote the song, but by the time that was actually finished and produced, then that's when the actual split happened. So then the East German government pretty much adopted it. And it's literally like legit pretty much like a song about like it's literally called Rise from Ruins, Aufstehen aus Ruinen. And it's literally meant to be kind of like genuine like kind of sense of like hope and rebuilding and like learning from the mistakes of the past and becoming a better nation. Basically, it's actually a really fucking awesome song, and the instrumental too is a banger. It's just like, what the fuck? Why did East Germans go so hard with their music? Though to be fair, it's because honestly the Soviets legit like really heavily bolstered East Germany a lot, especially like militarily and economically. And a lot of their military too, the NVA, like was legit like the most organized and like the most experienced and skilled like military at that time outside of the Soviets, just on the virtue of like, well, if a war kicked off, it literally would be there, like right in Germany basically. And at the same time, it was because a lot of the officers and a lot of like the generals too were also World War II vets themselves who were like disenfranchised, from the Third Reich and shit. And actually, some of them were like quiet collaborators with Operation Valkyrie and shit, who like when it kicked off would have like been supportive of like the Reformation government, but. Yeah, and also historically, Germans have like a pretty big supportive idea towards like leftist or communist ideas. It was literally that's partially why the Nazis took over too, is because like they played up a lot of those fucking ideas and shit, and were like the major competitors towards the Communist Party of Germany, and that's why at least for a long time it was like literally outlawed. You basically just be fucking shot, if you're a communist, in fucking Germany at the time, at least in the Nazi era. But once obviously they collapsed and shit, it wasn't like some big like, oh shit, I'm gonna get shot if I'm a communist now kind of thing. Like a lot of Germans kind of came back out and more sympathetic towards socialism and communism again afterwards, because they already had like a long track record of that type of shit. Like some of the first like socialist revolutions happened in Germany, so I mean. It wasn't necessarily like in like France or places like that, though. Definitely kicked off there too. Even further back, I guess he did chop down that cherry tree. Yeah, we just go back to like George Washington's past and like go see what happened there. Oh, I guess he did chop down the cherry tree. He did lie. I guess the story wasn't actually a lie. I guess I could go back in time and correct people on that. That would actually be kind of funny, like go back in time to to specific events where like these little like folklore tales that are kind of perceived as myths actually end up being true. Like with like dude, like Rasputin, bro. Did he actually like nearly get poisoned / with wine and a cake, and also like shot a bunch of times and still somehow lived? That would be kind of legit to see if like the actual like broader mythos of that story is true. Because supposedly they shot him in the head after like trying to poison him and everything, and then before then they tried to like shoot him and like and then he like got up and started fighting back and wrestled everyone to the ground and shit, and eventually someone just shot him in the head, but wrapped him up in a rug and then fucking dumped him in the river. But supposedly there's a bunch of claw marks in the rug where he apparently was still alive trying to get out, and I guess at that point would have drowned. So it's like, is that actually true? And frankly, I mean, it's like, it's not possible to, survive a gunshot to the head, but it is like a 1 in a trillion chance kind of thing. I mean, you don't, and even if you do, you ain't really coming back from that. So it's like, It's like after they fucking dump him in the river, I just like kind of pull him out immediately, and he's like clawing his way out, and is still alive, and I fucking bring him back, to health, and he still lives. That would honestly make like the people that try to kill him, they would literally be like, "This is a spawn of Satan! Oh shit! He really is a mystic fucking being. What the fuck?" They would just start freaking the fuck out, dude. Dude, that would actually, you know what? That's another thing I would change the timeline. Though granted, it wouldn't be on the top of my list. I mean, I know the initial question was one thing, and I already said that. But frankly, I mean, now that I think about it, that would at least be like, if I had like 5 different things that I could do, that would at least be on the top 3 of it. Rasputin's going to be a future fighter in the record of Ragnarok. Fuck yeah, bro. That's actually like, okay, now I'm getting excited for that. That chapter come out yet with Loki and Samo? So what the fuck are you doing? goofy ass dog. Next month. Ah! God damn it, I have to wait that long. Son of a bitch. Well, I guess I might as well at least, look at the chapter before and see what's up with that. At least it gives me something to do in my spare time in between, doing bullshit. I just cannot wait for this year to be fucking over with. Because fucking God, dude. Bonnie is derb. Gotta go sit down places. Nice. I'll say, despite all the last month and a half of bullshit, I will say, this past weekend, I was mentioning last time, but this past weekend legit is fucking peak year shit. Because, I know I mentioned it in the Discord to you, Rose, but dude, getting a chance to legit, kick it and, smoke up with fucking, Eric and hang out at his pad, have his over and chilling. That's just fucking, some legit shit. And I've been needing to, get back into, playing music anyway, especially, maybe get my trunk back out, fucking, get that out of retirement. And then, I want to ask him about, if he knows other bands I might need, at least at a minimal session player or something like that. At least for, rhythm guitar or, as a trumpet player too. Or even just, kind of random percussion instruments too, if they got, drum but have extra, percussionary aspects to their, band, and I could do it. I just, if I had a kit, a full drum kit, I would probably be able to get better with that, but ultimately, I'm way better with just broader percussion instruments, like my Kowloon drum or something, because then I can, I'm still getting the rhythm parts, but I still need to, learn to deal with the sticks and shit. I'm not, as good at those. Shit, Xmas with Kick-Ass New Year's. Well, honestly, ultimately, I kind of consider Saturday night weekend kind of my broader Christmas. And plus, tomorrow I'm at least going to, swing by my mama's and pick up some of my Christmas gifts that she has over there that I still need to grab. So, I guess you could say I had a delayed Christmas, because I'm still trying to deal with the job shit. But, I just kind of thought, all right, got the weekend. Just fuck it. That's my Christmas there. That's just a wait for the weekend. And, I think, honestly, for any president that I could have gotten, kicking it and smoking up at, Eric's pad and shit. And, dude, his weed sent Logan into fucking, Pluto, bro. He couldn't go to sleep until, the afternoon of the next following fucking day, apparently. He went to bed way, sooner than us, but apparently he didn't actually go to sleep because he was so fucking high. And, he has hypervigilance and ADHD, so you can only imagine what his brain's going on. So, because he came back down, at fucking 9 o'clock, because, even Brian was passed the fuck out. I woke up, just kind of chilling on my phone for a while, and eventually I realized, it's God damn, it's 9. Fuck, I'm turning the line on. I'm going to put on, the 100 or some shit. They're just getting fucking ridiculous. And then he woke up, and then Logan, a little bit later down the line, came back down. It was I'm just all fucked. And I was dude, I just kind of calling on him. It's Eric's weed fucked you up, didn't you? He's yeah, it kind of did. Holy shit. Yeah, it's legit weed. His bong was legit. Holy fuck, that night was blur. This kind of was. Because it was legit, though. I'm a stoner, so it got me high, but I was orbiting Mars. You know what I mean? Like I'm near one of the moons. Around Mars and shit. I'm just kind of chilling. But to Logan, he was like, he was just gone. The way things are going, we'll start seeing X and stuff back up in back in February. I know, dude. Fucking Jesus Christ. Remember that one in Nuggets where they had Santa Claus on, it was in February. Oh my God, I remember that. Dude, yeah, because, they're just predicting the future of that shit. It's like, what the fuck, man? I'd rather have a delayed Christmas more than one that starts in fucking mid-February. Like, fuck that. Ugh. Fucking Stevia Santa. Oh my goodness. I will say, Stevie makes a good Santa. I will say that. Because Stevie's already kind of like a sweet, jolly old guy anyway, so it's like, I mean, it's perfect. I like Stevie a lot because it kind of weirdly enough reminds me of me. That's why I like him. And I know that they all kind of pick on him a little bit, but you know what? It's like, that's also kind of why, I like it. Because, I get a little occasional, busting the balls, and shit like that, from the homies and shit. Sometimes I feel like they're trying to bust the balls a little too hard. I'm just like, oh, hey, oh. It's like, come on now. You know what? And some of them I feel the same way with, so I guess feelings mutual. Mostly it's with my boy Harley, because, like, that motherfucker, like, so me and my guys, like, me, Brian, and Logan, we're all kind of planning an intervention on his ass. Like, because that fucker, like, basically just sleeps all day and works, and, like, even when he's here, he just, like, comes in to say hi and wake me up for no damn reason, and then just fucking, like, dips. And it's like, what the fuck? So... Plus, he's not exactly wise. You want to know, honestly, some that is just like legit dumb as fuck. He literally has a cart. He bought a cart literally just to do laundry, to go to laundromat. But you want to know what's dumb? In the garage where he sleeps, he has a washing machine and dryer. So he's spending like $30. Also, exchanging it all for fucking quarters too. Endless goddamn quarters to just hang out in a laundromat, waste like 3 fucking something plus hours to just like wash all of his shit and dry all of it, instead of just like doing them at, a couple loads at a time in the one he already has on home for fucking free, basically. Do they work? Yeah, like Marcus and Logan use it all the time. In fact, they usually don't that much, just because they, don't want to wake him up with it. Because he also sleeps all fucking day. So sometimes they have to literally do it at the middle of the night when he's working, to do laundry. Like, the times I've crashed at their place, I've literally seen them do that. Or even, if Marcus is there while I'm dog sitting the dogs and Harley's going to work, that's when Marcus does it, like right after he leaves, So it's like, it works. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't, it's literally, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess he just wants to, like, dirty up every piece of clothing he has and then wash all of it at once at a laundromat, but literally just do it at, like, it's, like, just fucking, like, just wash it more frequently. I don't fucking, like, dude, like, it doesn't make sense. Even I might have, like, a little pile of dirty clothes and shit, and sometimes I have to do a couple loads. But whatever, I just do a couple more loads. Big whoop. I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? And plus, I have a fuckload of shirts anyway. So, I mean, I don't know. It's like, goddamn, bro. It's like, come on, man. I love him, but he's kind of dumb. And frankly, I think he just needs a little bit of a reality check with some of his homies because, like, straight up, I mean, he wants to try to talk some shit sometimes, you know, about, like, you know, like me or some of the other people in the group, and I'm just like, dude, it's just really best if you just don't do that because, like, the shit we could go down on your ass, my friend. Not that it's like, because I'd rather him just do better, and frankly, he was too. That's the funny thing. Like, he actually at a point was doing better, you know, at some, you know, like point, like when it comes to that shit. But, you know, now at this rate, it's just like, it's kind of like fallen off a little bit to the point where it's just, even for me, like, what the fuck, bro? Especially if he's like gonna be store shit here, then he's gonna need to start giving me some fucking cash because, like, especially in my predicament right now, you know, I think there might, you know, call it a little bit of an interest rate too on top of this, you know, for the backlog of it being here for, you know, a while because he has a motorcycle in the fucking shed, and it's like, and honestly, him buying that was also not smart. And frankly, he wants to buy like 6 more for some fucking reason. I don't even know the details about that. I just keep hearing that he wants to do that. I'm just like, what? And I already know he just assumes he could come over here and just have all the shit here. And it's like, no, that's not happening. And even if it is, you're paying me a fucking fat rate of your shit being here. And that's not even with you here. So, like, yeah, you're making it worth my fucking while and just like popping in and saying hi every now and then and cutting it. And that's just being as a friend, let alone anything else. It's just like, Dios mío. Ugh. Oh, that feels so good. Nice. Good old stretches. Let's see what my charge is. All right, cool. Still got a little battery on that bad boy. I know it's going to be kind of a dumbass balance effort, but, you know, fuck, I might as well at least have it charge up for a little bit. I don't need this thing going down to the bone. Shaboom. Okay, let's try to make sure this doesn't act like a fucking dummy. Bop. And boom. There we go. Okay, all right. Actually, that works. That works really nicely. Cool. I like that, Ohms. I like that, Ohms. Grind up a little more of these bad boy on here. Definitely wants to make sure get that shit done. Re-upped. That feels so good. That feels good. Ooh, that felt good too. Nice. Well, these hiccups are not feeling good. These hiccups are annoying as shit. The fuck? What the hell? I just talk shit about that fucking, hiccups and now they're gone. Human bodies, they'd be fucking weird. Emo boy, are you ever gonna just not do that, or is this just literally your normal behavior? Just a goofy little turd. I can never understand this little mutt. It's too ridiculous. It's too much of a ridiculous bang. Alright, let's get a little fresh bowl of that for myself here. And then go to bed real quick. I think that coffee is settling kind of nicely, so I can kind of get rid of the nonsense that's kind of backed up. And I have a feeling it might be a little bit of some warfare. I'm not gonna be too keen on that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm about to figure that one out and rock that bowl out until the wheels fall off, basically, you know what I'm saying? And I know for a fact that, that bowl's gonna rain. It's gonna have a little rain to it. What I should do is honestly, get some bundles of celery and just have a celery stick a day or two. Maybe 2 of them. 1 or 2 celery sticks a day, because the fibers in that bad boy will cleanse that good. And I know that would be some excelente, because I think I need to incorporate that a little bit more in my diet. Need a little extra on that. There. Be right back. Emo boy. That's the emo. Little bean dog. Little bean dip. This is good for little bean dip. This is a little bean dip. Little sweet bean dip. He's just a goofy doggo. Just a goofy little doggo. Look at you. Doggo bean. Seriously? Here. Sit in your chair. Come here. Come here, doggo. Come on, sit in your chair. Hey, Zukov. Zukov. You little turd, come here. Hey, little butt. Yo. Zukov. Oh my god, this dog is so ridiculous. Bro. Bean dip. What the? Man, this is gonna be emo boy. Why do I even bother? It's just gonna be a big old emo boy bean dip. Goofy little shit. Doggo. Zukov. Yep, emo boy. Yep, I knew it. Yeah, fuck you too. Wow. What a little turd. What? A fucking turd. It's like this dog simultaneously loves attention, but at the same time, is such a brat about it. And so, like, antisocial about it, too. I never get it. I'll never understand this little strange dip of a bean. Yeah. I love how, like, while me and my friends were at the show, somehow, like, my dad got that shit to fucking work, which it literally was just a bad battery in the fucking thermostat. So, now we got our fucking heat back. And it was like, yeah. Because legit, we were all kind of thinking, damn, it has to be like this fucking, you know, like, thing over here. But it ended up not being the case. So I'm just like, hell yeah. Zukov, are you fucking kidding me? You go emo boy, and now you're doing this? You son of a bitch. This fucking dog, though. Just a fucking absurd mutt. Absurd. Absurd. But I think I at least get this last little bowl smoked up. Kind of see what the homies are doing. I think Tyler was wanting to go down by Dante's and shit, because I know they have, like, you know, karaoke Mondays and shit, so I'm gonna see about that potentially. Because if so, I might actually do that, just because, fuck it, why not? Because they literally have, like, a full band, you know, and shit too on that type of stuff, so I'm just like, I'm kind of thinking, might as well, check it out. I'll see what's up with that. Nice. But anyway, let's call it good for now. No, that go shit. So, peeps out for now. And of course, I shall see y'all next one. Which might be later tonight, who knows. So, toodaloo.